For the question 12, I have 18 example here on a definite integral. Let's look at the question A first. To integrate this 1 over x squared with respect to x from 1 to 4, I will just copy down the question first and convert this, change this 1 over x squared into this form and write down the lower limit, upper limit. Integrate the x power of -2, we have to increase the power. Then we have x power of -1 over -1. Write down the lower limit and upper limit beside it. And after that, simplify first before you substitute the upper limit and lower limit. Then provide 2 brackets. One bracket is for the substitution of the upper limit. You get 1 over 4. Substitute 4 inside. And then substitute 1 inside. You have a -1 over 1. You have a -1 over 4 plus 1, which you have a 3 over 4. To integrate this question, D, rewrite your answer, your question into x power of 5 over 2 dx. Integrate from 1 to 2. To integrate this, you increase the power by 1, meaning that at 2 over 2, you get 7 over 2. Over 2. Then write down your upper limit and lower limit. Substitute in your lower limit and upper limit. Get ready 2 bracket. And you have a 2 power of 7 over 2 over 7. Multiply by 1 inside, you have a 2 over 7. Okay, and now we need to simplify it. Take out the 2 over 7. You have a 2 power of 2 power of 7, square root of it, minus 1. Okay, then after that, this square root of 2 power of 7 actually can be simplified. It will become, you can write into the form 2 power of 7, you can write into the form 2 power of 6 multiplied by 2. Okay, and this is minus 1. 2 power of 6 will be equivalent to 64. Alright, 64 square root of 64 will be 8. Alright, 8 is 2 minus 1. Alright, then this will be the final answer. For this question, simple question, just integrate. You got the x cubed over 3 plus x. Put in the lower limit, upper limit. Get ready, 2 brackets. Substitute 2 inside, you got 8 over 3 plus 2. Substitute 0, you get 0. So finally, you have 8 over 3 plus 2. Yeah, that is 14 over 3. Question D, just integrate with respect to y. You have a y cubed plus y cubed over 3. Then increase this power by 1. You got -1 over -1 from -1 to 1. Then you can simplify the your function first before you substitute the upper limit and lower limit. You get a 1 over y. Integrate from -1 to 1. Now you can have 2 brackets and substitute your upper limit and lower limit inside. Substitute 1 inside, you have a 1 over 3 plus 1 over 1. Substitute the lower limit, you have a -1 over 3 minus 1 over -1. We just simplify, you have a 1 over 3 minus 1 plus 1 over 3. This one, negative multiplied by negative, you get positive. Positive multiplied by negative, you get -1. Alright, so you have 2 over 3 minus 2. Okay, finally you have -4 over 3. To do the question E, I wish to separate this into 3 separate terms, which is copy back the integral sign and lower limit, upper limit. Then I'll separate into 3 separate terms. And how can I do that? I will take the 2w power of 5 divided by w power of 3. I have 2w power of 2 for the first term. Second term, I have a w divided by w power of 3. I have a w power of -2. And plus 3 divided by w power of 3, I got 3w power of -3. Integrate those 3 terms with respect to w separately. Integrate the first term, I got 2w cubed over 3 minus, increase the power by 1, you have a negative 1 divided by negative 1, plus 3w, increase this power negative 3 by 1, you have negative 2 divided by negative 2, and put in your lower limit and upper limit. Okay, then after that, I'll simplify the integrated function first, which the first term, just leave it as a 2 over 3 power of 3. Second term, I will simplify the sign first. I got positive 1 over w, and negative 3 over 2w squared. So now you can provide two brackets and just put in your upper limit first. You have 2 over 3 multiplied by 8 plus 1 over 2 minus 3 over 2 multiplied by 4, and put in 1 inside here. Put a substitution of the 1 will be put inside this second bracket. You have a 2 over 3 plus 1 over 1 minus 3 over 2. Alright, then with assist of calculator, you can have your answer as 127 over 24. Now this is a very simple question. Just change. You can rewrite your square root of x into x power of 1 over 2. And then you integrate this x power of 1 over 2. Increase the power by 1. You got 3 over 2 over 3 over 2. Bring up the 2. Put in the function, lower limit and upper limit. So then after that, you can just substitute your upper limit and lower limit and put it into the bracket. So you have 2 over 3 multiplied by 9 power of 3 over 2 by substitute the 9 inside, minus substitute 4 inside, you got 2 over 3 multiplied by 4 power of 3 over 2. Here I have 18 for the first term. Second, I have 16 over 3. 18 minus 16 over 3, got the 38 over 12. Here I have a quadratic function. Integrate from 0 to 3. So just integrate directly. I have first term, I have x cubed over 3. Second term, 2x squared over 2 minus x. Once you've done your integration, just put in your lower limit, upper limit. The 2 can be cancelled off. Can get your two brackets so that later on you can substitute. The 3 inside, you have 27. Substitute 3 power of 3, 27 over 3, plus 9 minus 3. This is a substitution of the upper limit. Substitute the lower limit, you get 0. For those three terms, you also will get 0. So this will be 9. So finally, you have 18 minus 3, that will be 15. To integrate this function h, first I will just expand this first. Expand 1 minus x squared, you have a 1 minus 2x plus x squared. After that, integrate term by term, you have a x minus 2x squared over 2 plus x cubed over 3. Integrate from negative 1 to 0. After that, you need to simplify first before you substitute the limit. Here I need to substitute 0. I put a bracket for the substitution of 0, and a second bracket which is bigger, which for the substitution of the negative 1. Because substitute 0, you got 0 minus 0 plus 0. Basically, you have a 0 for the first. For the substitution of the upper limit. For the substitution of the lower limit, you have a negative 1 minus negative 1 squared, you have a 1. Alright, you have 1. And substitute the negative 1, you got a negative 1 over 3. So you have a negative 2 minus 1 over 3, you have a negative of negative 7 over 3, which negative multiplied by negative, finally we have a positive 7 over 3. Alright, then for this function, to integrate this function, I'll separate them into two separate terms first. I have 3x divided by x power of 1 over 2, meaning that the power 1 minus 1 over 2, you have a 3x power of 1 over 2, plus 1 over square root of x, you can write it into the form of x power of negative 1 over 2, integrate with respect to x, and from 1 to 2. So I integrate separately, term by term, meaning that the power of 1 over 2, I increase by 1, I have a 3 over 2 divided by 3 over 2, plus, to integrate the x power of negative 1 over 2, increase the power by 1, you have a negative 1 over 2 plus 1, you have 1 over 2, the power, and divided by 1 over 2. Integrate from 1 to 2. After that, the 3 here I can cancel off, bring the 2 go up, it will have a 2x power of 3 over 2, and bring up the 2 for the second term, you have a 2x power of 1 over 2. Then now we need to substitute the upper limit, then the lower limit. Substitute 2 inside, you have a 2 power of 3 over 2. Alright, plus 2 square root of 2. Okay, because the 1 over 2, power of 1 over 2 means a square root, it's the same as square root. And then substitute the lower limit, you have 2 plus 2. Okay, just use the calculator to assist you. Okay, and this one I think we can simplify manually. You have a 2, this one is a 2 power of 3 square root plus a 2 third 2 minus 4. Okay, so this one you can actually think that this is a square root of 2 multiplied by 2 power of 2. Okay, so just copy down this. And this one can be separate into third 2 multiplied by third 4. Okay, plus 2 third 2 minus 4. Third 4 is equivalent to 2, right? So 2 multiplied by 2, meaning that for this term you have a 4 third 2. 4 third 2 plus 2 third 2, that will be 6 third 2 later on. Okay, so this one combined will become a 6 third 2 minus 4. Alright, so this if you want to factor out the 2, go ahead, you can do so. You have a 3 third 2 minus 2. For the question J, I think we need to use substitution method because you have the question which is 3x plus 4 power of 1 over 2. Alright, and if you have an x power of 1 over 2, there's no problem for you to integrate with the basic rules. But for the linear function, power of linear function, power of fraction, you need to use a substitution method. To use substitution method, I will first write down what is our u first. Alright, I will write here, let u equals to 3x plus 4. I will make this into one term. Originally, there are 2 terms over here. So now we'll find ways to simplify this. Just substitute the u to represent the 3x plus 4. After that, you need to find your du dx as well, because later on the dx here need to substitute it as in terms of du. Get your du dx first. You have a du dx equals to 3, meaning that dx can be substituted as a du over 3. So this dx later on will become du over 3, and this becomes u. How about the 0 and 4? 0 and 4 is the limit for the x, yeah? So x, the limit for the x is 0, 4. So we need to find the corresponding limit for the u. When the x equals to 0, just put in here. When x equals to 0, u equals to 4. And when x equals to 4, you have a 12. Alright, you got a 12, 12 plus 4, you got a 16. So the new limit of the u is a 4 to 16. Now I need to substitute into the question so that everything will be in terms of u. Now the new limit will be 4 to 16, and this will be u power of 1 over 2, and dx will become the du over 3. Over 3, I will put it outside. okay, as a 1 over 3. So 1 over 3, so integrate, you have a 2 power of 3 over 2 over 3 over 2. Alright, and you can bring out the 3 over 2. It become a 2 over 9 when you put outside. Okay, and the 2 over 9, just put in. And now get ready to bracket. One bracket is for the substitution of 16. You have a 16 over 3, power of 3 over 2 minus 4. 4, substitute into your u. You got 4 power of 3 over 2. Got a 2 over 9 multiplied by 56. And finally, you have 112 over 9. Alright. This question, because of the power is power 3, I'm not going to expand and integrate. So I decided to use substitution. We find it, or we represent the u as a x plus 1. Get your du dx. Du dx equals to 1, meaning that dx later on, I'm going to substitute as a du. And this one, x plus 1, is going to become replaced by u. And the 4 is just a coefficient, no problem, you just cannot write down. For the upper limit and lower limit, you also need to substitute for, you need to replace by the u limit. So 1, 2, originally lower limit is 1, upper limit is 2, is for the x limit. For the u limit, you are going to substitute the 1 into here. So u equals to 1 plus 1 equals to 2. When the x equals to 2, the u equals to 3. The new limit will be 2, 3. So this question become like this. Substitute the new limits. And the 4 you can always put outside, no problem. Then x plus 1 is going to replace by u, power of 3. And the answer will be u. Then now we can start to integrate. I have a u power of 4 over 4. Then put in your limit. The 1 over 4 here I can take out and cancel off with the 4 here. That would be 1. And now you're going to substitute the lower upper limit first. Okay, substitute the 3 inside. You have 3 power of 4 minus, substitute the lower limit. You got 2 power of 4. Final answer, that will be 65. For this question, we also will use substitution method. We let the u equals to m minus 1. Get your du dm. Du dm equals to 1. So you have the m later on will be substituted as the du. So, okay, this one will be du and this will be u. And how about the m? M we are going to substitute as a u plus 1. From this statement, u equals to m minus 1. We can rewrite m equals to u plus 1. So later on, this m will be u plus 1. And left to the lower limit and the upper limit. Originally, m limit is from 1 to 2. We need to get the new limit for the u. Substitute 1 into here, we get the u equals to 0. Substitute 2 into here, we got u equals to 1. So now we are going to write down everything in u. New limit is 0, 1. And m will be going to replace by u plus 1. And this will be u power of 1 over 2. dm will be du. Alright, so now going to expand this first. Expand u multiplied by u power of 1 over 2. You got u power of 3 over 2 plus u power of 1 over 2 du. Then we start to integrate term by term. Increase this power by 1. You have a 5 over 2 over 5 over 2. 5 over 2. Bring up the 2. You have the 2 here. And plus, integrate this. You got a u power of 3 over 2 over 3 over 2. Over 3. The over 2 I bring up. I put here. And later on, I'm going to substitute the upper limit as 1. And the lower limit 0. Substitute upper limit, you have a 2 over 5 plus 2 over 3. And 0, put in, you got 0. because 0 plus 0, you get 0. So now you have 2 over 5 plus 2 over 3, which have 16 over 15. Same thing for this question. If we rewrite the question into this form, you will see that we are going to use substitution. Alright, so this is 5 minus k squared, power of 1 over 2, dk. Now we are going to let the u equals to 5 minus k squared, and the du dk equals to negative 2k. From here you can see that we have a 1k here, means that the k and the k over here, later on is going to be substituted as k, bring up the dk, and it's going to be replaced by the du over negative 2. Du over negative 2. And this is going to be replaced by u. Alright, then the limit. Originally, the k limit is 1 to 2. Now we need to get the u limit. So substitute the 1 inside here, you get a 5 minus 1, you get 4. Substitute 2 inside here, you get 5 minus 4, you get 1. So the lower limit now is 4, upper limit is 1. It's okay if this lower limit is greater than the upper limit, no problem. You just need to stick to the location. This will be the lower limit and this will be the upper limit. Don't go and reverse or rewrite, change it. Alright, good. So now k dk I'm going to replace by du over negative 2. Over negative 2, I'll just write it outside as a negative 1 over 2. Okay, and this one will be u power of 1 over 2. So now you can start to integrate. Integrate u power of 1 over 2, you have a u power of 3 over 2 over 3 over 2. Just put in the limit. And after that, the 2 you can bring up. You can cancel off with the 2 over here. So you have a negative 1 over 3 outside. Alright, then after that, negative 1 over 3 will be outside and provide 2 brackets. One is for the substitution of the upper limit, the other one is for the lower limit. Alright, substitute the upper limit, you have 1, power of 3 over 2 still will be 1. And substitute 4 inside, you get a 4 power of 3 over 2. 1 minus 8. Okay, then you have a negative 1 over 3 multiplied by negative 7, which you have the answer is 7 over 3. For this question, I will just expand this and just integrate. Do not need to use substitution. Alright, let's see. 0, 4. Just expand, you have a t power of 3 over 2 minus 2t power of 1 over 2. You can see there are two separate terms over here. You can just integrate term by term. Just increase the power power by 1. You have a 5 over 2. Then divided by 5 over 2. Again, the 2 you can bring up here. And to integrate this, you have a increase the power by 1. Then you have a power of 3 over 2 over 3 over 2. Over 2 you can bring up here. So later on you have 4. Integrate from 0 to 4. So simplify first. I like to simplify first before I substitute the limit. The 4 over 3 t power of 3 over 2. Then now you can provide 2 brackets. Just put in the 4 inside. 4 power of 5 over 2 minus 4 over 3. 4 power of 3 over 2. And for the limit 0, lower limit, to substitute, you will get 0. You have a 4 power of 5 over 2 equivalent to 32. And 4 power of 3 over 2, you got 8. And then with access of calculator, calculate this. And I have a 32 over 15. For this question, we just use the basic rules of integration. Just rewrite your question into this form. the x cube root of x power of 2, I can write it into x power of 2 over 3 dx. Then we just integrate as usual, integrate term by term. I have x squared over 2 and negative 6, just copy down. Increase the power by 1, meaning that you add this 3 by 3, add with the 3 over 3, you get a 5 over 3. Okay, then this one is over 5 over 3. Over 3 I bring up. I got 3 multiplied by 6 later on. This is multiply. And now we have done the integration. Just put your limit beside it. And now you simplify first. You have a 2x squared and 18 over 5 x power of 5 over 3. Now get ready to substitute the upper limit and lower limit. Get ready to brackets. Okay, substitute 1 inside, you have a 2 minus 18 over 5 because 1 power of anything also producing 1. Substitute 0 in these two terms, you get 0. So finally you have negative 8 over 5. For this question, I just expand it. Expand and integrate. You got 3x power of 5 plus 3x squared. It's a very simple question. Just integrate term by term. I got 3x power of 6 over 6. And this I have 3x cubed over 3. Integrate from negative 1 to 1. Simplify it first. You have this. You have x power of 6 over 2 plus x cubed. So now we need to put in the upper limit and the lower limit. Substitute upper limit, you have a 1 over 2 plus 1. Substitute lower limit, you have a 1 over 2 minus 1. Okay, 1 over 2 minus 1 over 2, you get 0. 1 plus 1, you get 2. For this question, just rewrite our question into this form and integrate. Increase the power by 1, you have negative 2 over negative 2 plus 2x squared over 2. And simplify it. You have 2 and then this one can be cancelled off. So finally you have negative 2 over x squared plus x squared. Alright, and now you need to provide two brackets just to substitute. For the substitution of the upper limit, put in, you have a negative 2 over 4 plus 4. Yeah, put in 2, substitute 2 into x, you have negative 2 over 4 plus 4. And for the lower limit, you got a negative 2 over 1 plus 1. Simplify it, you got a 9 over 2. For the question 13 is a special question because the question fx, the function fx consists of two subfunctions, which the two subfunctions, the first function will be x squared plus 5, which is a quadratic function, and it is taken, the fx takes this function when the x is less than 2, and when the x is greater or equals to 2, our function will be square root function. Alright, then we need to integrate negative 1 from negative 1 to 6 of this function fx. So here I want to sketch the graph for so that easy for me to explain my solution. So for this graph, for this curve of the fx, if I want to sketch the graph, I need to draw two different curves. One is at the left hand side of the 2, and the other one is for the right hand side of 2, because 2 is at like boundary point, and when the x is less than 2, I have my function x squared plus 5, which is my quadratic function. So when you want to sketch the quadratic function x squared plus 5, as if this is the point of y equal to 5, the graph is in this form. You go through the 5, and then go up because it is a quadratic. And it will break at the x equals 2, and because of this is not include the 2, I put a empty circle at here. And for x greater or equals to 2, the graph is in the third square root of x minus 2. And how do we sketch a square root of x minus 2? Which the graph, the shape of the square root of x is like this. If x minus 2, meaning that we need to shift our graph 2 units to the right, it become like this. Alright, this is at 2. So we just take this shape and put it into our graph. Our shape is more or less like this. And because this is consists of equal sign, I will put the tan circle to represent it include the 2. Alright, this is the x-axis, y-axis. So both graphs, it form the y equals to fx. So now if you want to get you want to integrate from -1 to 6, you can understand this statement as finding the area from -1 to 6. Finding the area from -1 to 6, maybe the 6 is somewhere here. You need to get the area from -1 to 2 and from 2 to 6. So basically, this is the area, this is representing the area from -1 to 6, which I shade with the green line. But we cannot directly integrate from -1 to 6 because the fx consists of 2 different curves from -1 to 6. So I need to split them into integrate from -1 to 2 and then plus integrate from 2 to 6. We need to put in the function, the subfunction for the fx. From the -1 to 2, very obviously from the graph, I can see that from -1 to 2 consists of the quadratic curve, which I will put in the x squared plus 5 into here. And then from 2 to 6, my curve is a square root function. So I will put a square root function into here. So these two actually are equivalent because the fx consists of 2 subfunctions. And from the -1 to 6, it consists of 2 different curves. So we need to separate them. Then after that, we just integrate as usual. Integrate the first integral, we have a x cubed over 3, plus a 5x. And later on, we're going to substitute the upper limit and lower limit. To integrate this, the second function, second integral, I need to use substitution. So we just take it out, take this out, and we calculate first. We find out what is the answer for these integrals, and later on we put in back. Alright? So here I will use substitution to integrate this. I let u equals to x minus 2, get your du dx equals to 1. Meaning that your dx here, later on, is going to be replaced by du. And the limit, you need to find out. For the x limit is from 2 to 6. And now you need to get the u limit. U limit, substitute the 2 into here, you get 0. Substitute the 6 into here, you got 4. So the new limit will be 0 to 4. And this will be replaced by the u power of 1 over 2. dx is going to be du. Alright, so now we integrate. Integrate u power of 1 over 2, increase the power of 1 over 2 by 1. You have a 3 over 2. Over 3 over 2, you can bring up, put it here. Alright, then now you can just substitute in the upper limit. You have a 2, 4 power of 3 over 2 over 3, and minus 0. Yeah, substitute 0, you get 0. And now you have 16 over 3. Okay, this is not the final answer because you are not complete your answer yet. I'm going to put this 16 over 3 back to this. Alright, then I'll continue this. Continue, substitute the 2 into here. This will be 16 over 2 later on. 16 over 3, sorry. 16 over 3, yeah? Later on, I'm going to substitute this as a 16 over 3. So now we process this first. I'm going to put in the upper limit into here. I have a 8 over 3, sorry, 8 over 3 plus 10, and put a negative 1 into this, into the integrated function. I have negative 1 over 3 minus 5. So with the assist of calculator, just calculate it. I have a 7 over 3. Okay. Proceed to the next question. I have to integrate 2 to 3 for the function x plus 4, x minus 2 power of 4 dx. Okay. Then now this question is not a tough question because the question already states that we need to integrate by substitution u equals to x minus 2. So now you need to get your du dx equals to 1, meaning that dx later on will be substituted as a du. And how about the x plus 4? We know that the x is equals to u plus 2. From this statement, we write it as make it x into the subject. We have a x equals to u plus 2. So what is the, later on this x is going to replace by the u plus 2. And now we're going to substitute the limit, find out the limit. When the x equals to 2, what is the u? U value will be 0. When x equals to 3 and the u equals to 1. So 0, 1 is your new limit. Then now I'm going to substitute everything inside. You have a lower limit 0, 1, and the x is going to be a u plus 2. The u plus 2, this is a u plus 2, plus 4, then you will have a u plus 6 over here. You put it here. And x minus 2 is going to replace by u, and you have a power of 4. The x is going to be replaced by the u. Alright, so now I'm going to expand it. Expand, you have a u power of 5 plus 6 u power of 4. Okay, then now you can integrate. Integrate u power of 5, you have u power of 6 over 6 plus 6u power of 5 over 5. Then put in your limit. Have a bracket and a bracket. Put in 1 into here, you have a 1 over 6 plus a 6 over 5. Put in the 0, you got 0. Alright. Finally, you have 41 over 30. For this question 15, which is my last question, consider the function f(x) and integrate the function. You need to integrate this function. This is for the answer A. Integrate x over square root of x plus 1 dx. So for this question, I will rewrite it into this form. And I know that I'm going to use substitution method to integrate this. Alright, we let u equals to x plus 1. Get your du dx, that will be equals to 1, meaning that later on, my dx here is going to be replaced by du. Alright, and this is going to replace by u. And how about the x here? The x here, I'm going to rewrite this as x equals to u minus 1, meaning that this will be going to replace by u minus 1. So everything will become like this. U minus 1 multiplied by u power of negative 1 over 2 d. Then now we can expand this before we integrate. I have a u power of 1 over 2 because u power of 1 minus 1 over 2. I have u power of 1 over 2. And this negative 1 multiplied by this, I have a u power of negative 1 over 2. So now you've got two separate terms. You can start to integrate now. Integrate u power of 1 over 2. You have a u power of 3 over 2 over 3. And over 2, I bring out, I have 2 here. And this one, you have to increase this by 1. You have a power of 1 over 2 over 1 over 2. 1 over 2, again the 2 I bring up to be here. And don't forget, this is an indefinite integral. I need to plus constant c. Then later on, I'm going to substitute back the u as the x plus 1. Okay, x plus 1. This one will become back right back as a x plus 1. Okay, this is a 2 square root of x plus 1 plus constant c. This is how we integrate. After we have integrate, hence evaluate 0, integrate 0 to 1, from 0 to 1. Meaning that now, dealing with the question B, integrate from 0 to 1 is actually equivalent to put in the integrated function 2 over 3 x plus 1 power of 3 over 2 minus 2 square root of x plus 1, and don't put the c because now we are dealing with the definite integral. Just put in your lower limit and upper limit. Alright, then now I'm going to substitute the upper limit and substitute the lower limit. Alright, substitute the upper limit. I have 2 over 3, and substitute 1 into here, you get 2. 2 power of 3 over 2 minus, substitute 1 into here, I have a 2 sub 2. Alright, then substitute 0. Substitute 0, you have a 2 over 3. 0 plus 1, you get 1. 1 power of 3 over 2, you will get 1. 1 multiplied by 2 over 3 still will be 2 over 3. Substitute 0 into here, you have a 2 sub 1. Alright, then now we simplified it. We have a 2 over 3. Okay, 2 power of 2 third of 2 power of 2 multiplied by third 2 minus 2 third 2 minus 2 over 3 plus negative multiplied by negative, you got positive 2. Alright, this one is a 2 because the square root of 2 square, you got 2. 2 multiplied by 2 over 3, you got 4 over 3 third 2 minus 2 third 2. Alright, and negative 2 over 3 plus 2, you got positive 4 over 3. So these two are the like term. We can simplify it. You have a negative 2 over 3 third 2 plus a 4 over 3. Alright, and we can consider these two terms. There are a common factor 2. You can just take out the 2 over 3, and in the bracket you have a negative third 2 plus 2. Or you can write into this form. Okay, or you may give your answer in the decimal. Alright, or you may give your answer in decimal form. That will be 0.391. Here, the end of our tutorial on definite integral. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.